Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We got a list, I think, of 18 properties, which is one of the bigger lists we've seen in the last little while. And I'll help you navigate through it, tell you the ones I think maybe you should pay attention to, maybe some stuff you didn't know, and then we'll take it from there. And so our mission really with Daily Homes is to keep you safe. Interesting appliance stuff here in this episode. I'll show you what I mean. So 561 Childs, number 39. It's at 239. It's an October 19th possession, so you know there's a pretty decent amount of motivation there. 288 on the maintenance fees. There's a finished basement. I don't know anything else on this one. There's just no pictures. There's not a lot of description to go by. There's one small room at about 9.8 by 8.2, so really a double bed, and that's it for that room. So anyways, Dalhousie's the next one up. It's 345, and so we've got a moonseed end. It's about 1,300 square feet, and you can see what it faces there. And so it's only the 2-bedroom, and it's got one full bathroom upstairs. I like the 2-bedroom with 2 washrooms upstairs that you find in the Woodbine. You know, a really good one sold about a month ago for this price, but there's one now at 319 that's probably going to receive multiple offers. I just don't know how competitive these guys are. I don't really see them getting that price. Water's listed yesterday, already sold. 379 is the price. October's the possession. It's a finished basement, semi. So you know they're going to kill it. I mean, laminate floors, dark laminate floors. So anyway, so this one's off the board. That finished basement and being a semi at that price definitely made it go pretty fast. Van Fleet is 16-something square feet, priced at $389. And you're talking about some nice hardwood floors here. The kitchen looks good. You got those green apples kicking, and these guys are going to do really well. I wouldn't be surprised if they sold for more than asking. I know it's a changing market right now, and nobody's quite sure where things belong, but this is very aggressively priced compared to what else is sold. I mean, easily, these homes 2 or 3 months ago, this one here would have been up in the 4s. Houston, $389 is the price. It's a semi-detached with a finished basement. I do like this little effect here. It's almost a throwback with that little sort of top window, and it defines the entrance. I don't know if it would make the entrance feel a bit tight. The kitchen, I think, is a bit of a letdown too. I don't know if the green highlighting those cabinets is really they're in their best interest. But the finished basement, it is a semi-detached, and like we said with the one at 379, for a semi, this is good value. And you know, you could work with cabinets sometimes. Even to replace a kitchen is not as expensive as people think if you're going to IKEA or anything like that. So Hobbs Crescent, 4049, star listing. Over 1,600 square feet. It's an end unit. It has nice 9-foot ceilings. When you walk in, everything's open. Even this little cutout from the staircase here really opens the space up when you get into the house. You've got a good-looking kitchen there, and 3 bedrooms. You've got 2 full bathrooms. Just nice stuff. So that's a really good price for this one here. Kavanaugh is at $419. We're talking about 1,873 square feet townhouse. I don't like the way the doors in. I find that this front part really protrudes. There's really not a lot of space between this and the sidewalk. It's got some nice upgrades inside. You can see they blurred this, and I don't know if it's because there's just dirt and crap back there that they didn't want to show, but I guess overall that's probably not a bad thing. You've got your front room that you could probably close off and make an office. It's hard. You'd really have to sort of see what's happening around there in order to make that happen. But yeah, it looks, you know what, it looks decent. 419, we have seen these models pretty decent in the last couple months, sell between the 410 and 420 range. Might be a touch high, but I think that they're still in the right range. 1,873 square feet, I think. Andrews dropped from 439 to 429, and my gut feel on this one all along is that it'll probably sell somewhere in the 420s. So I think they're just bringing it closer to the realistic goal there. Nice finished basement here. We sold the same model a couple months ago in the mid 420s, so it looks good. Nice landscaping in the back, and overall it's a good part of Andrews. It doesn't back onto Thompson or anything like that. Grant Way, 439, you're looking at about a 2,100 square foot townhouse, and you've got the higher ceilings here. You've got the dark cupboards. it looks kind of plain. There's not a lot of paint in here or anything like that. The California shutters, the glass shower, those kind of things. The color just sort of washes away a little bit when you're looking at the shots. But that's your access to your garage, so you can actually bring your lawnmower directly out from your garage. And 439, I don't know. I mean, I might be looking at this one as being a little bit better than the Oakwood with the blurred windows, but 20,000 difference. I mean, we'll see what happens. So Clark is at 449. It's about 1380 square feet. Single car garage, detached home, and nice pictures here. I'm very impressed with the pictures. I don't know if this is a running theme here, but for some reason we're seeing old stoves in this week's episodes, and I think that does have an impact. As easy as it is to fix and as facetious as it might seem to even talk about it, it does matter. In the grand scheme of things, it is a good thing to have all your appliances to match, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on as well. So it's all put together well. It's I think a reasonable size for this amount of money. We've started to see some price adjustments with stuff coming down. There's an 1,800 square foot home, a Lindsay model that we just saw price on Eden, and the price just fell back to 450. So these guys are playing the nice new card that I think may benefit them. But there's stuff happening around the 450 range. I mean, would you buy it over a townhouse if you didn't need 18 or 1900 square feet? If 14 works for you, it might be a good option. Scott Boulevard 474.9, and so it's a Derby model, and so it's more than 2,000 square feet. It's really close to the neighbor. I think they share a foundation wall, but they're not. They look detached basically from the outside. Hardwood floor on the main level, granite counter in the kitchen. It actually looks like a pretty good deal to me. Some of the Mattamy stuff at 2,000 square feet is selling over 5, so 480 on that one. Scott's a bit busier. I think it's going to be a good listing. You can always check the photos on the link down below. Martin Street is at 480, 56 by 124 foot lot. We know Martin's a bit busier. It says 4 bedrooms on this one, so if you actually look, the 4th bedroom is down in the basement with a rec room. Hardwood floor. It looks like they've got a kitchen with tumbled marble backsplash stainless steel appliances. There was that one on Hemlock that sold in a couple days that we profiled last week in Dorset Park. And so, this one here, I think if it's half decent, I mean, inside, I think they've got a fighting shot. And it'll be an interesting listing. Sometimes stuff on Martin can be really tricky to sell. Jelinek, 500,000, 2173 square feet. It's called a Starflower. It's a nice floor plan. I think once you start getting to the 500, you start seeing that the double garages start becoming your competition. But overall, I think this one has a lot to offer. It's got a lot of space inside. It's got a really good floor plan. So September 10th is their magic day. Whenever they quote a date like that, we know that there's some importance there. There's this one on 3rd Side Road, 5049. Not the prettiest looking home on the outside. It looks like it has a metal roof, which is very good for upkeep. 2.2 acres and very interesting architectural features. It almost looks like a really well done cottage in here. I have no complaints with the way it looks. Again, the mismatched appliances, I don't know what it is about this week. We don't normally see it that much. Bit of a modern style. Could be a little tricky because the country buyer maybe isn't as modern as this, but I think that it's priced what I consider to be very, very well, and it looks like it's on a pretty good piece of land too. So nice stuff there. Hearst Boulevard is at $599, and if you scroll down, it's a Mannington corner. The one just a street away from these guys sold a couple months ago in the low 6s. So, if it's half decent inside, I don't remember the photos. It is a relist, so it has been on the market before. The agent is the seller as well. It's another thing to know about this one. Nairn Circle 609, so it's about 23 something square feet. Tiles on diagonal. They've done some decent upgrades in here too, but again, I hate to keep dwelling on this. You don't put white appliances in a home that you're trying to sell for $600,000.
Is anybody listening? Oh, no reply at all.
That's cutting corners, and people notice it. And if someone's going to write you a check for 600,000, they expect some half decent stuff in there. It's really the congruence of that. I can't stress it enough. If you're selling a home that you just closed on, and obviously nobody's living here, you've gotta, if the home's floating at a certain level, you got to get the appliances at that same level so people can really sort of respond to it. That they're not going to have to feel like they have to change them. I even think investing in some new light fixtures compared to the awful ones the builders put in is a great investment if you're going to be launching a home on the market. I've seen some homes that change one light fixture in the breakfast area. Because it's such a central part of the house, it shows up in 2 or 3 pictures, and it makes a huge difference. So anyways, those are little tweaks that you can do on this one. The fact that it has a walkout basement definitely helps. It says it's only a 3-bedroom plus one, so that could be holding them back a little bit. My vote is that these guys probably aren't going to sell in the 6s, but you never know. I don't think any. The thing about it is, no person or agent can have a crystal ball and say what a home's going to sell for. We can look at ranges, we can look at comparing to previous sales and so on, but the actual sale price is due to so many factors: the buyer's motivation, the seller's motivation. We've had buyers that need to buy a home and they end up paying a little bit more than they wanted to, but they found the home they wanted. Sellers sometimes are in a position where they do have to sell. So we look at that and we say, okay, so each situation has its own little intricacies. And so Diamond is the next one. It's at $639. It's a 2661. It's a wood lily corner. And so there's some okay shots in here. There's some not so good shots. The kitchen is a darker shot. But instead of that, why don't they show the downstairs? There's a second kitchen in this home. There's potentially an opportunity to have somebody live downstairs and pay rent. This is a price that's high for this model. You'd add some finished basement, but we don't know anything about the quality of it. It's a bit of a question mark for me. I don't really know where it should be, but my initial reaction is that it's probably a little bit high. So Jelinek rounds out the list. It's at $820, well, $819.9. It's a 4,000 square foot home, and I'll tell you, this home appears huge. When you go to see it, I mean, you could see a 3,500 square foot home and then go to this one. This one feels like it's 5,000 square feet. It feels very big inside. You've got this little sort of rotunda style entrance that I think is pretty impressive. I like the little, turret style up in the front there. I think it creates a good first impression. There's some sort of mid-tone hardwood. And when we talk about too light or too dark, I think the nice thing about having this shade of hardwood is it's probably going to be in style 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And sometimes the dark and light tends to go in and out of style. So I do like that choice. It's a little more closed concept. They've opened this up as much as they can with the 3 arches, but there's still not that complete opening that I think a lot of people like. And so to have your family room face this way, where do you put your TV? If you want it by the fireplace, it can be a little tricky to lay out there too. Looks like just plain laminate countertops. They've done a nice backsplash. They've done some great cupboards, and the appliances in here are definitely decent. So anyhow, there's some good stuff. The ensuite in this home is huge. It's probably the size of some of the townhomes we profile on this list. 5 bedrooms upstairs, tons of space. Okay, so that's that one there. It's not on the Jelinek side that backs onto the green space, as far as I can tell. So you might look at something like the Wettlaufer one. For about $850 or so, you're getting that green space behind, and it's probably just as nice, not nearly as big. But I think at some point you say, okay, whether or not I've got a 400 square foot master bedroom or a 450 square foot master bedroom, does that really matter? Is it enough to fit my bed and maybe a couple other things? And that's sometimes what we find. I even mentioned a couple weeks ago, if you're going from a 2,500 square foot home to a 2,800 square foot home, sometimes it's not that different. Sometimes the rooms might be a little bit bigger, but it's, when you move from an 1800 to a 24, it's much more substantial. Even from a 2000 to 24 makes a big difference. Sometimes it's an additional room in the house. So anyhow, that's the list. That's our Friday. It's our big week roundup. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week with more Milton Daily Homes. And if you're coming to town this weekend, sign up for a tour. Come meet us at Starbucks, and we'd be glad to help you. Okay, take care.